Newslife&beyond. News, life, and beyond. New podcast, it's time you tap into it. Real life interviews, focus on your businesses. No propaganda or gimmicks, it's two dawns. DJ and Adam made News, Life, and Beyond. News, Life, and Beyond. News, Life, and Beyond.
So do you think your sister, brother now has some kind of resentment and wanted to become different instead of being, you guys equal?
I think sometimes that plays a part in it because growing up, our mother dressed us identically until we went to middle school. And then is when we were close up until then. And then in middle school, being that they kept us apart in school anyway, like in different teams and different parts of the school, we began to have our own friends and create our own lives. And then even in high school, we went to two different high schools. She went to NFA, he went to NFA, and I went to Norwich Tech. And we tried to separate ourselves as much as possible. So yeah, I've never thought of it like that, but probably it might have been a part of it as well.
Is he part of the nation?
No, he has never been part of the nation. When he did inquire, I said no. I refused.
Okay.
And it wasn't for safety things or anything. Like I said, I didn't feel it in my heart and in my gut that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if she's gonna or he's gonna go the whole way?
He has been on hormones, from what I know, from what my siblings tell me, my other siblings.
He does look good.
He's on hormones and definitely changing all that. Now whether or not when the surgery will happen, I don't know. But he's been on hormones for at least 10 years. Yeah.
Do they have to stay on that for the rest of their life? Or?
I think so.
Yeah.
From what I'm made aware of, yeah.
Trying to think of the word. You didn't really get into what your downfall. What happened between you and sister?
So, because I started using again.
Were you using like heroin and stuff like that?
No. Coke.
Coke. Okay.
Yeah, cocaine was my drug of choice. And because of me using and my ex-husband lying about a lot of things, we fell out. And because I went back to the life, back to the hustling life, we fell out due to it. And we haven't spoken in 2 years.
You guys should make up. Because if something was to happen to him, it would break your heart.
And I've been praying about it.
So as me as your older brother, I think you should take my advice and give him a hug. And
when
forgive.
I see him.
When
I see him.
Life's too short.
I know it is. I almost lost him a couple times due to health problems, and
yeah,
it weighs on me. It weighs on me.
Yep. That would kill you if something really did happen to him, man.
Because it's crazy. Even though we're not close like we used to be, I've always felt his pain whenever something's happened physically or whatever. I've always known when he was sick, or hell, when he gave birth to his daughter. I told my mother, call the hospital. Just pushed her out. My mom was like, how do you know? Because I felt it. So I've always felt his pain.
Does he have kids?
One daughter.
Mm-hmm. How does his daughter feel about it?
Welcomes it, calls him dad.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, and the grandkids call him grandpa.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
I think there's 3 or 4 grandkids. 3 or 4, yeah.
It's a good time in life now for that type of thing where it's more accepted.
It is very much more accepted than when we were growing up.
Seeing it
always.
So it's not as taboo.
Yeah, and it's so prevalent on TV now. So
there's a lot of it on TV now. Actually, come to think of it,
even on Disney,
a little too much sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes when it's in Disney movies. I mean, come on.
You can't even watch a movie without seeing, a guy trying to stick something in some other guy's butt.
Yeah.
It gets to be a little too much.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't understand is, say a woman is gay, all right? So she don't want to be with a man. Well, she'll date a woman that looks like a man.
I've
You
always
get it?
had, yeah, I've always wondered about that concept as well.
Yeah, I never could understand that. So I had a friend, Mel. She was beautiful as shit, and then she became a boy. And I always asked her, I said, well, why do you date a girl that looks like a girl, or vice versa?
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, it's the feeling, the way you love them. But, all right, so love a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever.
I know.
I don't get it. I guess I'm not here to get it. But I love everybody. Whatever. Black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian. So back to life.
Life.
Life. Do you have any regrets or anything about all the shit you've done in your life?
The only regret I have in my life is not fighting harder for my son to be in Florida with me, having him raised up here in Connecticut. Because he was raised away from my family, not knowing his heritage as Mexican American and Black. You know, there's things that is the one regret I have in my life. And me being a queen was used against me. And that's how he was.
It's got to be hard because you're a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And usually mothers love their kids, I guess.
Whatever they what say, I did more. What I did for that when he was young, I became a teacher so that I could have the big breaks, the summer breaks, the long spring breaks, and the holiday breaks. Nice. And when I would have those, I would come up here and spend them up here the entire time. Nice. So I could be with him.
That's cool.
Yeah. When I was going through custody battle.
Oh, in the court system?
The magazine picture.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's the picture. That's the picture we're using for the flyer. What can you talk about that picture?
That was when the upper crowns were really pushing, getting the positive out about the nation. And I received a phone call, well, a couple of us did, in regards to us going out and taking this magazine picture. And so in that picture that you're using, those are queens from all over Connecticut. Yeah.
Nice. We respect. We love you. That's why we're using it.
I'm proud of that picture, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's an awesome picture. I love it myself. That's why I got the song with it. You wasn't a queen at one time and then you went back, or?
When I left and went to Florida, I did find a chapter there, and then they were disbanded.
Oh, okay.
But being that I was bloodline, they were not bloodline. They were. There's just several different versions of us, I guess you could say.
You can't talk about it, or
but,
what's bloodline?
So bloodline is because we come from King Blood in New York.
Okay.
All right, and the other part of our nation comes from our motherland.
Okay.
Chicago, and so that's all Florida is. You'll find there's bloodline there, but I won't go over to the other. You see one or the other, and I'm always bloodline. Bloodline is where I was crowned. Bloodline is what I'll always be.
You guys have respect for each other?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Most definitely.
Oh. You ready, bro? Oh, okay. So can you talk about the difference between the ALKN and the ALCN?
Well, it's actually ALKQN.
Okay.
So it's Almighty Latin King Queen Nation.
That's
and then the ALCN was the Almighty Latin Charter Nation, which were two kings that came from New York and wanted to create their own nation in Connecticut. And we had to, it was, you want to stay charter, you get stripped. You want to stay in the nation, you become part of bloodline. And I was not leaving the nation, so I became bloodline. And that ran through the whole state.
Oh, okay. Anything better or worse between the both?
Actually, what's funny is that our manifesto is exactly the same. There were different things that were different. There were some things that were different, but it's the same belief. As bloodline, even as motherland. Like it's still the same beliefs that we were created to uplift, and originally we were created to uplift the Latin community,
Right.
and all the Latinos, and now it's all people that are oppressed.
Did you get treated any different than Florida to Connecticut?
So with us, you know, with bloodline, you know, we are allowed to. I don't want to say allowed, but you can retire out. You can, you know, you've reached your steps. You can not walk away. You don't drop your crown, but you don't have to be active. You become inactive.
Right.
With motherland, there is no such thing, and you become active again. I didn't have to go out there and run the streets or anything, but partake in, you know, events, gatherings. You know, showed my face for those.
Is that what this question was? Still active in locals area and active? Okay.
And now here, being back in Connecticut, I am inactive right now.
Has it taught you anything about yourself being a queen or part of the nation?
It has. It's why I am how I am today. It's why I don't tolerate even seeing other females be disrespected. I've talked to now at the state that I'm in, I'm considered an elder. And, you know, I just advise younger queens coming up and, you know, what it is to be a queen. A queen isn't going to shake her ass all over social media and, you know, show everything that God gave us. A queen is somebody that is humble, has respect for herself first and foremost, and knows her worth.
Like a real queen.
Exactly.
All right. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I'm praying to have my grandbabies running around. Obviously, hopefully, prayerfully retired. Who knows with that? You know, the way this world is. But just to be happy with my fiance. You know, we're deciding whether or not we want to move out of state.
Okay.
There's 2 different places: either go back to Florida, go to Texas, or stay here in Connecticut. But just, I want to continue to live a happy life. And just be there with our grandbabies and enjoy them.
Too old for kids?
Oh, I'm done. I don't even have the equipment for that.
Cat, dog?
Oh, we have a dog. We do have a dog. We adopted a dog together.
Boy or girl?
That's our boy. That's our boy. He's a black lab pit mix.
Oh, nice.
His name is Doobie. We gave him that nickname for a reason, so we can say, "Oh, what a good Doobie." You know, back in the day, that's what we used to call it, blood. So,
young kids don't understand that. They're like, what? Doobie?
But he's a good dog, and eventually get more dogs, much more stable.
I had a question before, and I just saying it now. Do you think that the guys in the nation get treated different than the women in the nation?
So what I see, and I've had this conversation with several brothers, in depth. The fact that when a king is with a woman, he calls her his queen, and we're to respect her as such. However, I can't call her queen because she doesn't wear the same colors as me. She has not earned her right as to be called the queen. She's his queen, and she's my sister-in-law and in love, but she is not a queen. And so my argument with that was, when I was married for 20-something years, would you have called him a king? And they're like, he was my king. Would you have called him that?
Right.
And they're like, no. Okay, then don't push that on me because she's not a queen.
Right.
But I will respect her as your wife, you know. And I was asked at one time, did I get my crown due to my man? And I was like, no. Because at the time I was dating a king after my divorce. And they thought I got it from him. And I was like, no, he was 9 years old when I got crowned. So they were like, huh? And I was like, yeah, he was 9 when I got crowned. And so, you know, I said, no, I earned mine. And the one thing that still I laugh about to this day, when people that don't even know the life, have never been in the streets, and they say, did you get beaten?
Or raped in?
You know, yeah. Or did you get raped in? Or did you have to sleep with a bunch of the kings? No. Because first of all, a queen doesn't carry herself in that way.
Right.
You know, and that's one thing that I really, yeah, I'm like, it's the Crips and the one and then that and then that and then that and then that and then that. Yeah, they do that. But no, we didn't. And, you know, that's the one thing that I do also when I advise, you know, the younger queens is don't carry yourself that way.
News, life, and beyond.